Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the Blair County Commissioners meeting for Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, it being 10 a.m. I'd ask that you please all join me in a moment of silent prayer. If you please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Executive session announcement.
Good morning. We have 2 executive sessions this past week. An executive session was held on March 31st, 2025 at approximately 10 a.m. with the commissioners regarding a property. An executive session was held on April 3rd, 2025 at approximately 9:30 a.m. with the commissioners regarding a property.
Thank you. Before we get into public comment, I just want to again go over the Blair County policy for public comment. Any individual wishing to address the board must state their full name, their street address of their residence and municipality. You must be a resident of Blair County. Any individual who wishes to address the board will be allowed 3 minutes to present their statement. When 30 seconds are up or left, I will tell you that you have 30 seconds left. We would ask that you just respectfully maintain the time because we have other business to do. Any individual is free at any time to submit written comments or testimony to the commissioners by mail, fax, or email. Individuals addressing the commissioners should confine their remarks, statements of opinion, information, or fact. The public comment section of the agenda is not intended to be a debate. Rather, it is intended to be an orderly presentation of opinion, information, and fact to help the board in making a decision on various issues confronting the county. One last thing I'll say is we went through this last week and everyone was very professional, and I appreciate that. The one thing I will not tolerate is we are not sitting up here to get bashed or be told or get yelled at. So if that starts, I will end you at that time. And if you don't stop, I will have you removed. That being said, public comment.
Good morning. My name is Jeffrey Behrens of 768 North Douglas Lane, Tyrone, Pennsylvania, and I am a resident of Blair County, and I'm also the Vice President and General Manager of Alto Rest Park Cemetery Association Incorporated of 109 Alto Rest Park in Allegheny Township. I submit to the County Commissioners signatures from almost 1,000 additional people that have signed our petition since the last Commissioners meeting. Ma'am?
Yes.
As I stated in the last meeting, taking our land will have a significant negative impact on both the present and future business of Alto Rest Park. Our land is part of a historic existing family business, and this decision directly impacts not only our family, but also the many families of those buried on our grounds. Over the last week and a half, we have heard from our community about that impact. After hearing from some of them at last week's meeting, we hope that you feel the same way that we do. That moving forward with the prison on our property is just too costly to further pursue when there are other alternatives. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marcia Horton. I live at 622 Yale Lane, Altoona, PA, and a resident of Blair County. Also concerning the Alto Rest Park, I have numerous family members buried there. The problem also that I have is that the projected prison would be up on the hill overlooking the cemetery, and up on that hill is a lot of military. It's all military. These are men and women who fought for our country. And I just don't see where it is right to put a prison or a rehab facility up there where they can look down upon the military and their families that are buried there. It's just not right. It's not honorable at all for them. And I know there's other family members who are there, and I just think it's a sin to take property that has been sacred, in other words, for the people of Blair County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Daisy Decker. I live at 189 Evergreen Road, Hollidaysburg, Frankstown Township, Blair County. I attended last week's meeting in support of the Good Family and their numerous efforts to protect Alto Rest, a most sacred space for generations, for the replacement or the placement of a new prison. Commissioners, today I want to be heard. I watched you last Thursday, sometimes intent on listening, and other times distracted as folks shared. I recognized that many people had shared similar remarks, and perhaps you thought, here we go again, same words, different person. You know what? I get it. Well, I do get it, but here is the message many of us would like you to hear. It is personal. And it shows me there are many people concerned about the location you propose for a new county prison. I am sure you are aware of the petition that Jeff Barron started. I checked before I came into the meeting this morning. The count is now over 6,800 people saying no to the prison being located by Alto Rest Park. That number interests me. More people from all over Blair County have expressed not wanting the prison near Alto Rest than the approximately 5,500 people that live in Hollidaysburg Borough, our county seat, the very location of the current prison. A significant representation of our community certainly has spoken and must be heard. I was born and raised in this area and remember the quiet country road that was once in front of the cemetery with horses across the street. And over the years, commercial growth took that beautiful setting away from Alto Rest Park. The area surrounding the park has changed quite a bit since the Good family had their vision. But the family has continued to create and carry on with the gorgeous gardens, peaceful atmosphere, sacred and calming space for this community to visit loved ones. I can't imagine how many people visit on any given day. My family visits there regularly. No one deserves to have a prison next to Alto Rest, those who have made use of its services in the past or those who will do so in the future. I am trusting that there are other opportunities that will present themselves for your consideration. Rome was not built in a day, and neither will the new Blair County
You have 30
prison.
seconds, ma'am.
Considering the ground next to Alto Rest is extremely unsettling to me, as I have 3 generations of family buried in that peaceful and comforting space, 2 generations before me and my son. I heard many folks last week ask you to continue considering another location. Please add me to that list. I am 100% against the new prison being placed near Alto Rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to provide public comment?
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Bonnie Miller, 15 Hillside Drive, Duncansville, Allegheny Township. I am here again today to continue to ask you please to not adopt the ordinance to authorize the taking by eminent domain of the 2 parcels of land in Allegheny Township. When I went home last week, I realized that we really all agreed on several points in that meeting. One was that we agree that something needs to be done with the current prison. And we agree that we're in a crisis state over the preferred site of the prison. And we can all agree that this preferred site has created a whirlwind of emotions, hurt, and fears in our community, as evidenced by the thousands of signatures from your community voters, along with pleas from the Alto Rest Park to not take this hallowed ground, and from the neighborhood property owners whose ground borders the included location. So I asked another thing that you as commissioners would probably all agree on, that you would like to have a positive, proud place in Blair County's history books. And you all deserve that because you work so hard at what you do. So I would ask you again humbly to please reconsider looking for another site for the prison. Thank you, commissioners, for all your valuable time, and God bless you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Decker, 189 Evergreen Road, Hollidaysburg, Blair County. You have a hard job. I can empathize with that. I have spent nearly 50 years in the real estate brokerage and appraisal business. And so I come at this problem from a little different angle than some. To properly compensate and fairly compensate the Cemetery Association for that property, future value of all those burial sites would have to be considered. That could be a considerable amount of money and be additionally more than any other site that you might consider. So I would ask you to look at the costs involved in that. Also, I fail to recognize how purchasing prime commercial land is the wisest and most prudent expenditure of taxpayer monies. Thanks for hearing me, and good luck.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none. Commissioners' comments.
I am going to change topics to talk about one of our proclamations coming up just briefly. One of the proclamations today is about National Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. We have a number of our CYF employees here today, and as everyone knows, we've seen a lot of challenges for children and youth over the course of the last several years. And I just wanted to recognize the continued efforts and improvements that our staff have been making in our agency here for the protection of the children of Blair County. I'm very proud to be able to work with all of these talented individuals, and I know they have extremely stressful jobs, and I'm just grateful that they're able to join us today to recognize this very important issue.
We give them a round of applause, please.
That would be great. Thank you.
Any comments?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I have two different comments on two items. First of all, oh. Hello, is that better? Okay. Usually I'm loud enough, but I've been coughing today, so I guess not. I wanted to address one issue that had come up last week at the public meeting that we had regarding the issue of the Alto Rest and Ventura properties. I was very troubled by the remarks made by Mr. Ventura, and I don't see him here today, so it would be nice. I'd like to be able to talk to him, but he's not here. This particular property, the site of the Alto Rest property, would not have even come to the top of our list of properties that we were interested in looking at, except for the fact that Mr. Ventura contacted us through our broker and offered to sell us his property that would be an access way to the property that belongs now to Alto Rest. So I was disturbed when he said that he knew nothing about this until January of this year. He not only contacted us, he personally took me on a tour of the property and showed me how it would make such a wonderful access. So had that access not been made available, we wouldn't even be here today. We would have been looking at something else. So I just want everyone to be aware of that. The other reason that I wanted to speak today is we're going to have a proclamation regarding the library board and the libraries that we have here in Blair County. We have wonderful libraries. Our librarians keep up to date with all the latest technology and provide lots of good things and programs for kids and adults. And we really appreciate their efforts, and we're going to recognize Library Month today as well. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go through and read 3 proclamations that we have prepared. The first one will be actually National Library Week, so I'll turn that over to Commissioner Webster.
Okay, I got some glasses on. This is a proclamation for National Library Week, April 7 through 13, 2025. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas the Pennsylvania Forward Literacy is Power initiative highlights how libraries and staffs encourage literacy in basic information, civic, health, and financial, which contributes to greater personal and community success. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Whereas libraries workers have worked to expand fluency in the digital literacy skills needed to navigate the online world which 21st century information exists. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning. Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas getting a library card is a financially literate action. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Drawn to the Library. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Blair County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim National Library Week, April 7 through 13, 2025, in Blair County. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library and celebrate the opportunities they unlock for us every day. And I make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. I'm going to read the proclamation for April 2025, Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month, County of Blair. Whereas the month of April 2025 recognized as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Dig Month in the initiative sponsored by Pennsylvania 811, a utility notification information center with over 53 years of continuous service to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas Pennsylvania 811 received 1 million excavation notifications in 2024, over 3,000 construction projects in Coordinate PA, and transmitted approximately 6 million notifications to their member facilities owned and operating, allowing essential utility and construction crews to provide vital underground services and repair of critical infrastructure to communities throughout Pennsylvania. And whereas, when contacting 811 at least 3 business days before digging, a homeowner or contractor is connected to a unique service that notifies the appropriate underground utility operators in the municipality in which the work will be performed. And whereas, by notifying 811 of their intent to dig, the homeowner or contractor is knowingly helping to protect the underground utilities themselves, the work crews, their neighbors from unsafe digging practices within their community. And whereas upon receiving the notification of Pennsylvania 811, the facility owners and operators dispersed to the said work site to mark the approximate location of their underground utility lines with flags, paint, or both to establish an 18-inch tolerance zone of the outside wall or edge of the line of the facility. And now therefore be it resolved that the Blair County Board of Commissioners, in support of the Pennsylvania Underground Utility Line Protection Law, PA Act 287 of 1974, is amended, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Pennsylvania 811 Safe Digging Month, and encourage all Pennsylvanians to visit the Pennsylvania 811 website, www.pa1call.org, for information about digging safely. Duly adopted, Commissioners of Blair County, this day, April 3rd, 2025. I make that in form of a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
It's my turn. Okay. This is a proclamation in recognition of National Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month. Whereas in federal fiscal year 2023, 40,300 reports were made to Child Protective Services in the state of Pennsylvania. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Blair County. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Blair County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of April as National Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Blair County, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. I put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
And I do think we have representatives from the libraries and children and youth. I'm not sure if anyone was here for safe digging, but if we want to do,
No, there are.
there is. So do we want, is there a want for photos? Okay. All right. Do you want to go in order?
Sure. We'll go in order the way we ran the proclamation. So Library Week, if they would like a photo, they can come up now.
Is it second?
Thank you.
Should we hold a book? I'm going to hold a book.
Yeah, that was nice.
I'm just trying to get the mic on my back. Yeah, ready? Get a little bit. Yeah, thanks. All right, great, thank you. Okay.
Good seeing you.
Bring your shovels.
Did you bring a shovel?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, ready? Oops, ready? I got it. Okay. Six-footers in the back. And can we kind of move over a little bit? Yes, maybe on that side, even it out. There we go.
No, I'll take it.
Oh, okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm just taking a bunch. Thanks, everybody.
I think maybe we did like.
I think you should have to sign all those.
Yes, I will.
I was gonna pass them out, and I realized.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want blue?
Let me just sign these and get them back out.
Oh. Heather, the book is perfect. My toddler granddaughter loves octopuses. They're not octopi. Plural octopuses is octopus.
No, I
Sounds terrible. No, one's enough.
don't have children.
Suggestion.
What?
Okay. If you would please take us through the consent agenda.
Certainly. Consent Agenda Resolution 160, 2025, Section A, ratification of 8 warrant list items. Section B, 2025 budget transfer to cover fees for maintenance on county vehicles in the amounts of $246.46, $658.31, and $639.43. 2025 budget transfer to cover the fees of insurance deductibles in the amount of $2,000. 2025 budget transfer to cover the fees of the purchase of the Amtram passes for RVTC in the amount of $295.10. 2 items for Bridge 69. The first one is requesting approval for payment number 2 to Merlot Inc. for Bridge number 69 construction in the amount of $172,142.74. And requesting approval for payment number 3 to Merlot Inc. for Bridge number 69 construction in the amount of $302,945.81. Section G, County Road 105 and 105A, requesting approval for payment number 6 to HRI Inc. for the County Road 105 and 105A rehabilitation project in the amount of $75,054.51. H, Southern Alleghenies Planning and Development Commission, requesting approval of a letter of support for the SAP and DC application to the Greenways Trails and Recreation Program of the Commonwealth Financing Authority and the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for $212,500 to fund a $250,000 project. Section I, Children, Youth, and Families, requesting approval for the use of the courthouse courtyard area on April 10th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon for the Child Abuse Prevention Month event. Sections J through N are employments, status changes, resignations, terminations, and retirements.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
I'm an aye with abstention to the payment to Blair Senior Services.
Staff reports and special business. Blair County Agricultural Land Preservation Board. Okay. The Blair County Agricultural Land Preservation Board is requesting approval of the contract between the County of Blair on behalf of the County of Blair Agricultural Land Preservation Board and Keller Engineers Incorporated for the easement survey of the Biddle Farm Partnership LP over farm in the total amount of $5,400 to be reimbursed by the Commonwealth of PA at the time of closing. I'll make that in the form of a motion. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any comments or questions?
I'll just explain. We have to get appraisals for all of the farmland preservation easements that have been granted here in Blair County. Actually, all the counties have to do that. And this is just another farm that we're looking at having a preservation easement. This is reimbursed by a grant, so it is not out of our taxpayer funds.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, hearing none. Blair County Park and Rec Advisory Board. You don't look like Joe Keller, but,
No, sorry, couldn't make it.
okay.
Blair County Park and Recreation Advisory Board is requesting approval to enter into a lease agreement between the County of Blair and FC 814 Soccer for the lease of the Honorable Judge Fred B. Miller Soccer Field at Valley View Park for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029 in the amount of $1 per year.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement between the County of Blair and FC 814 Soccer for the lease of the Honorable Judge Fred B. Miller Soccer Field in Valley View Park from January 1st, 2025 through and including December 31st, 2029 in the amount listed. May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I do have a couple questions, I'm sorry. So we have done these many times in the past for the predecessor to FC 814, but I don't recall doing multiple years at one time. Do you know whether that's a change?
No,
Or the-
we did, it was 5-year lease.
Oh, okay. And then do they come back with a specific schedule of what days they're using?
They will come back with the soccer field
Okay,
schedule.
that's maybe what I'm remembering. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Fort Roberdeau. You have no arrows in you, so it must be a good day.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today requesting approval to accept the bids received for the Fort Roberdeau farmland lease for review and then award or reject according to the county code thereafter.
I'll make a motion to approve, accept the bids received for the Fort Roberdeau farmland lease and then award or reject according to county code. May I have a second?
Second.
And Glenn, could you just tell the people in the audience what this is specifically?
Yeah, we have some acreage, close to about 200 acres that are ag fields that we can lease out. And it's, in my tenure, it's been a 3-year lease that rotates through, and the farmers bid on that lease.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Public Works.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm requesting approval of change order number 3, resolutions 401-2024 and 83-2025 between the County of Blair and David M. Maines Associates Incorporated for the additional labor and materials for the proper installation of the mansard roofing system in the amount of $17,602.37 with a revised total project amount of $1,356,391.37.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order number 3 for David Maines Associate for the additional labor and materials for the project installation of the mansard roofing in the amounts listed. May I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I would just comment that I think the project is moving along really nicely. I've gotten a lot of comments from the public on how nice it looks and how excited they are about it. So.
And I think I want to take the opportunity, Nick, on behalf of the board. We are very thrilled to have you. You've exceeded our expectations in this role. We appreciate everything that you're doing and continue to do. You've been really remarkable. So on behalf of us to you, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on to old business. At this time, I will make a motion to take off the table, not to move forward with the property of taking of Alto Rest. May I have a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
Who wants to go first?
You?
I will, sure. So this action, it will allow us to continue the search for an alternative location for the property. I do just want to say that there are trade-offs for that. We have spent, not just this board, but the prior board, multiple years at this point looking for a suitable piece of ground. I said in the past publicly that we are looking for a unicorn. We recognize that any property that we find at this point is not going to be ideal. We may have to make compromises. We're still at the beginning of this project. We're nowhere near the end. So there may be changes to the concept. There may be other people who are close to whatever site we do locate who are unhappy instead. There may be increased costs for site development, and it may take a significant additional period of time. We just don't know at that point. I do think that this is a project that we have prioritized and will continue to prioritize. But I do know and I believe that there are viable other options, although they may not be as ideal in our site. We heard all the reasons this site is not actually ideal from all of the members of the public that we've heard from. So I think that it is time to move on and continue the search. And that is the reason why I support this motion.
What? No, I'm going to say something. I almost called you attorney. Commissioner Burke and I have been working on this project for about 5 years. We are not the first commissioners to be working on this project. We have spent an inordinate amount of time searching for properties. We have invested. Oh, do I have to start over? Okay. Commissioner Burke and I have been working on this project for about 5 years since we took office, and Commissioner Kessling came on board last year and has been working with us as well. We have engaged the resources of several of our departments in helping us to find locations, trying to find relatively flat land in a hilly and full of streams and water sources is very difficult. We have tried to avoid farmland because that's our biggest industry here in Blair County. We have a laundry list of what we're looking for and what we're excluding from our search. As I said before, we have spent an inordinate amount of time on this. It's not the only thing that we have to do, but we have dedicated a lot of time and efforts to this. The site that we have been discussing is the number one site. It's ideal. The other choices that we have are going to probably be, well, not probably, we know they're going to be more costly and probably less efficient. However, we will continue looking and we will see what we can find. We had made promises to the public that we would make certain to take care of this project and to get a new prison built, not only for the protection of the people of Blair County, but for those who are incarcerated. Currently, we face all sorts of issues and problems because of the condition of the current building. We all know we need a new prison. There's no question about that at all. We want to get this started during our term because this is what we promised you all that we would do. So we will continue to trek onward, and you'll just have to keep an eye on what's going on by reading the paper or coming to our meetings. We welcome people coming to our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. As an elected official, we have to make tough decisions, which sometimes are not popular. However, for a county to move forward, such decisions must be made. There have been countless boards of commissioners who would not address this issue because they knew it would not be popular. Regardless if we like it or not, this board has no choice but address this issue. As has been stated before, this has been far from a rush to identify a site or a rush to build a prison. 324 properties have been evaluated over a 4-year period. For various reasons, those sites have not been pursued. Being mindful of the taxpayers of this county, we do not want to add additional cost to building a prison by spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, just to prepare a site for construction and the added cost of running electrical, sewer, and water. We are trying to find a suitable site that has utilities close and again lower the costs associated with building this prison. I am grateful that we live in a country that allows its citizens to be heard. Over the past several weeks, we have heard from our community. Individuals as well as business owners have expressed their opposition to the preferred site. Our state senator, our representatives, as well as the Allegheny Township supervisors have either reached out to us or met with us voicing their opposition to this site, even though they know the position that we are in. Has this divided us? No. In fact, all those elected officials have offered their assistance now to help us in a quest to find a site. We appreciate all the citizens who have reached out to us offering suggested properties, as well as those who have attended these meetings to speak out regarding this particular site. As elected officials, we want to say to you, your voice matters. As a result of hearing from the community and business owners, I personally will not support and I shall oppose considering the properties for the new prison site. Yeah. All those in favor of not pursuing this property and taking it off the table for the taking, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? So moved. I'll make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Next Board of Commissioners meeting will be held Thursday, April 10th at 10 a.m. Thank you.